Finishing Up Depth. My name is Hannah Koshak. I'm a registered dietitian. I have a business called Wholesome Endeavors, and I really give a shit about people's disease prevention because I worked in the hospital. I saw a lot of disease. They were begging for their quality of life. I would leave the hospital and I would see the people who had their quality of life, but they were squirming for their gene size, which is very natural given the conditioning and society we live in. However, when you start to pivot your mindset, you can pivot your health journey, therefore create consistency, and then, yes, likely prevent most of the diseases that are preventable. And we have Miss Shannon Warner here. She is the host of Having a Mom Moment podcast, which I highly recommend if you're a mama because there's great content in there, including myself. No, I'm just kidding. Just
There
kidding.
is, though.
But that was a good episode. That was a lot of good
It
stuff.
was good. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I thought about you last week when I bought a new pair of jeans, the next size up, because I'm going to live my life and I'm not going to be controlled by my jeans.
well, and it's interesting because at what quality of like as far as like what does that gene size make a difference, right? Like
Right.
people say, I just can't lose weight this last 5 pounds. And it's like, yeah, but those last 5 pounds are your baseball games and what you do. And it's your, weekend activities, or maybe it's your sourdough hobby that's keeping your mindset in shape. Like it's just like maybe it's not so much about that last 5 pounds and then letting go of that. And actually, naturally, people have then released extra weight that they wanted to just through that consistency that they struggle so hard to get in the habit of.
I actually felt more confident because I was like, these look great on me instead of me trying to
Yeah.
squeeze my body into jeans that are just not fitting in this season. I was
Yes.
like, oh, cute.
Oh my God, you're so right. And just like to wear a size that fits well versus thinking so much about the number.
Yeah.
I know. And like, why
Mhm.
do sizes have to be titled like small and large and extra large and
Yeah.
whatever? Like, so freaking dramatic. Why
Yeah.
can't it just be like XYZ? I mean, that's a label of like this, you're a Z size, meaning no
Yeah.
association in your subconscious about actual sizing. If
Then
I
the
could
whole
do it all
industry
again.
would crumble. The whole
Mhm.
would fall apart.
Well, and there are jeans that I think do it really smart. They make their sizes like upsize, but they are smaller, like just putting that in a way of like the jeans are larger, they run big. I'll put that out there. And then it's like if people associate with a number, if you don't, then you're just getting the pair that fit you.
There is a very, very, very globally known name uh, destination that does this with their sizing. I can tell you from working in their sourcing that, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, you think you're a
Mhm.
medium, but you've actually bought a large. But it's all good. You're happy.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's all in the way you're thinking about it for sure.
Yeah.
So today I thought we would talk about kind of healthy eating on a budget, or even just like the cliche, like healthy eating is expensive. And I'm doing this because what's a version of expensive, right? If you eat on like kind of really cheap food, then maybe it's expensive. But if you eat in a way that actually is very logical and balanced, it's probably not much different. It's just some easy substitutions. So that's
Yeah.
something. And if you don't know, we bring a different topic here. It's about 20 minutes and just a way for us to kind of dish it depth. And so here's my depth about this topic. I don't think people need to obsess about organic until they're actually eating enough disease preventative foods to maybe obsess. Like most cases, people are not eating enough fruits, vegetables, whole grains, like any of the stuff that like focuses on disease prevention. And therefore, to worry so much about organic or not, especially when it comes to in like prices, I just think that's a waste. I think paying attention to getting enough overall produce and healthy foods, and then if you choose and have the budget to choose organic, you can. That surprises people because usually they're like, what? You're a dietitian and organic is healthier? And yes and no. Is it healthier if you're not eating the healthy foods?
Right.
Like, really, is it?
Yeah.
because even if they do have chemicals sprayed here or there, one, you wash your produce. Two, they have tested many times parts per million. And three, organic also uses a type of spray in most cases, at least on their produce. And I just feel like the benefits of anti inflammatory, antioxidant, fiber, and everything else that's included that I didn't even just mention, those benefits end up outweighing the very small potential risk of. But yeah, if you can get enough fruits and vegetables in your life, then you want to start paying extra for organic. I will say I buy organic apples because I do notice a difference in their taste, and I won't eat them if they're not organic because I typically can't stand the taste. And so if I like the taste, I know I'm going to eat them, then that's worth my money. It's not worth my
Hmm.
money to get cheaper apples that I don't really like and then
Right.
I don't eat them. That's then a
Hmm.
waste of money.
Right. Right. I'm glad you said that too, though, because it's crept in like a form of mom guilt almost. Like, I'm buying my kids fruit, but it's not organic. Like, am I
Mhm,
doing enough? You know?
mhm. Yeah, and I mean, there are some diehards out there, and that's okay. But what I care about really is teaching people balance in lifestyle. And so when it comes to like all organic, it's not even realistic to get all your produce organic in the life we live in. If you go in the grocery store, the organic section is this big compared to 3 to 4, like a quarter of the store being produce. The organic section
Yeah.
is just like this sliver of that section.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
I love variety. I love variety. And the variety of fruits and vegetables, if like let's say I get a bag of organic blueberries frozen that are okay, fine, but like I don't think that is going to affect my overall health in the long
Hmm.
run.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
consuming the blueberries, which are associated with mindset, mental health, memory, obviously antioxidants, yeah, so much more. It's like in the long run, then that does add up the more blueberries you eat.
Yeah, this is a little side tangent, and I know we're not talking about pets here, but we've started giving our dog blueberries because she's almost 12. She's getting up there, and I just want her quality of life to remain good. And I notice a difference in her just sprinkling a handful of blueberry, not even a full handful, just a little bit of
Mm,
blueberry into her
mm,
kibble.
yeah,
And so it's
that's
fun to watch.
awesome.
Like, oh, you are benefiting from this. If you're going to benefit from this, then yeah,
Yeah. And that's like, okay, that's adorable. I never really thought about that per se, but I do think about that with my kids. I tend to like save the berries, like, oh, I want to save the raspberries for them. And then I'm
yeah,
like, wait, no, I need nutrition too. So I've had to
yeah.
like step out of that. But yeah, and when it comes to like even like well, fresh produce, so back to the like it's expensive to eat healthy. When I think about that, I think often people forget like it doesn't have to be where you're eating a carton of blueberries at a time because we were just saying how if you like bang for your buck nutrition wise, berries. They're fiber, antioxidants, phytonutrients, plant sterols, like all these brilliant things, right? And berries are one of those things. So you could sit and like eat a whole container and like maybe not feel full. But thinking about budget friendly foods that you can easily incorporate with berries, such as like oatmeal or smoothies or affordable yogurt that you like. Therefore, they can actually be stretched a long way. Plus, yes, pay off in the long run. And if it really is hard to really watch, like as far as like frozen or not, or income, it's looking at frozen. Like frozen is actually insanely more affordable. And the difference nutrition wise is not very much. They're usually frozen at their peak. Um, um, what's the word? Help me.
Ripeness.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. I was thinking,
I don't know if there's a better word than that, but
yes. All to say it's the same thing. So, yes, when it comes down to it, like frozen is a great way to get that nutrition and it's more affordable.
And summer's coming up, and I don't know about if y'all have kids, but my kids love a smoothie. I also love a smoothie. It's really nice and refreshing in the summer, so we
Yeah.
use a ton of frozen berries.
Mhm. And seasonal. Seasonal is more affordable just naturally. I mean, I live by a berry farm that I got like a whole bag of berries for just insanely cheap. I actually told her,
Mhm.
like, this can't be right. This can't be
Yeah.
right. But all to say, when you go pick your own berries, it's so affordable. Plus, then you could put them in your freezer, or you could make things and then you could put it in your freezer. You could make like little oatmeal cupcakes with blueberries to put in your freezer. So then you can have it more year round outside of seasonal. And so when you start thinking about that, overall, you're spending less money than thinking in the moment where you're like, oh, blueberries are $5 a carton. No way. But overall, it's kind of a wash
Mm.
because the other thing that is like a bag of Doritos or chips, which we don't hesitate on, is 3.97 or 4.79 or something. Like really just
Yeah.
like for a half a bag of chips because you
Right?
know it's filled with air. It's
Yeah.
like we don't typically hesitate on that, but a whole bag of apples is 5 to 6 to $7, whatever. So it's like that apple is how many seatings or like servings worth in a sitting, and chips are usually not.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I'm gonna plug gardening here just for a moment
Mhm.
because one of the first things that I started gardening was strawberries, and it's not that hard. The plants need maybe a season to really start
Mhm.
producing unless you're able to get your hands on and successfully transplant a more mature plant, but already in Michigan
Yeah.
here, I've gotten at least a full tub of strawberries. It's so early in the season, and my girls just eat them like that, so
Yes.
it's an
Yes.
easy one, and you can often do it in pots too, so there's a good way to spend a few dollars on a plant and,
Thank you for that plug. That was
yeah,
a great
yeah.
plug. And I actually, even like herbs are insanely easy. And what people do is they grow them and then they're like, but I don't know what to do with them. And like that is what we're doing in the Wholesome Collective because
Right.
those are hugely nutritious foods that are good for disease prevention. So, yes, gardening is a very easy way. And honestly, when it comes to even produce, like if it's like, I can't eat it fast enough, like, yes, freeze it, find
Freeze it.
ways to use it, like it
Yeah.
will come full circle. Okay, wait, we have a comment here. What kind of water do you drink? I just drink filtered. We have well water. I drink filtered out of my fridge. I don't know if that's to me, staying hydrated is important for your organ health. Um, that could be a whole episode too, hydration and how many people
Mm,
live dehydrated and function on dehydration. I
yeah.
juicing. Oh, this is a good question, and I appreciate you for asking it. And you're either going to love this or hate this answer, but I don't juice because of the fact that it takes away so many of the benefits. So you're pulling the vitamins and minerals from the product, but what's going away in the peels and in the pulp and whatever else is not being eaten is the fiber. And the fiber really helps prevent that blood sugar spike from the sugars that are being pulled out of that product into the juice. And not only that, any sort of color you see in the pulp is also the antioxidants, phytonutrients, and different
Mm,
plant benefits. So the thing that I often see is that like the amount of juice people can drink, it's usually a bigger bottle. It's like I would ask them like, would you sit down and eat 4 oranges? And if not, then like you'd be getting a lot of the sugar from the fruit. And again, I'm not saying sugar from fruit when you're eating the whole fruit is not a problem. But when you eat 4 oranges, where you know, like that would be a lot, right? We just typically don't, but you have the fiber to prevent the blood sugar spike. But then when you juice, it takes away so much of that product and then just leaves that. So you could consume 4 oranges worth of juice or sugar in that juice. Yes, vitamins and minerals, but you'd still get those vitamins and minerals through eating it. So, same with like if you add like a turmeric or a ginger or something to your juice, I honestly still feel like there's so many ways to incorporate that whole product, but that would be the one reason that I maybe would is if I was trying to get something that, I wouldn't eat. Like,
otherwise, yeah.
yeah, I usually do it in smoothies though. I think about smoothies as far as what I can blend and then what can control that sugar spike or add kind of slow that like um, gastric release. So like I add oats and some walnuts to my smoothie, which is healthy fat and protein and fiber. So then, yes. But again, like how much fruit can you add to a smoothie versus when you're juicing, you could add like 6 to 8 different things, lots of vitamins and minerals, but also lots of sugar without that fiber. There are circumstances where juicing is beneficial, so I'm not like completely opposed to it, but my go-to isn't that for health. My go-to is definitely eating the produce whole or in a smoothie where I can get that fiber and pulp in there too. Good
Mm.
question.
It's like
I
it's nuanced if you're not into food. So I appreciate you saying that because I would just think, "Oh, juicing's good. I'm getting the things," but you're not getting
And
all
it's
of the
not
things. Yeah.
bad. It's not
Yeah.
bad. It's
Yeah.
just, I think, like,
Can
especially
we
when
do
we're
it
talking
better?
about price and stuff, like
Right.
you're letting go of so much of that product, and it is a waste unless you use that pulp for something, and a lot of people do. But still, I still would recommend trying to eat it. And when you prioritize it as a lifestyle, you do end up eating fruits and vegetables throughout most of your day. It just is kind of a
Mhm.
natural thing to grab a cucumber for a snack or pick from your garden or whatever. And also, I want to talk about the obvious one to me, but I don't know if it's obvious to everybody when it comes back to budget, would be legumes go a long way. Legumes are beans, lentils, and they're really high in protein, low in fats, and high in fiber. So if you even did half of your ground beef mixed with half brown lentils, you'd be saving money on how much ground beef you buy, but lentils are insanely affordable for how many servings and the nutrition they give you. And it's a process, but the literal disease preventative properties that can come from eating lentils or whole grains or beans is transformational, whereas you wouldn't get that health transformation from a beef or a meat. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
If not,
Yeah.
ask the questions for clarity.
Makes sense to me. Thank you. I wouldn't even
Mhm,
think though to like I don't think the way you do. I wouldn't think like, "I'll just mix these. That'll be good." Like,
mhm, mhm. Well,
yeah.
that's what I love about these
Yeah.
conversations. It's not like I'm saying, don't do this or eat all that. It's like there's ways to incorporate all of this so you don't feel like you're deprived or completely worried about omitting things.
Mm. I have a question. And I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I think about a lot of these things and I think about my children because I am a mom and I have littles and I'm like, how much waste is there going to be? How much am I going to end up either guilt eating off their plate because I don't want to throw it away or just throwing it away?
Mhm.
Any thoughts on like award winners with your littles when you're trying to incorporate some of these things? The fruit's no problem, but I think
Yeah.
about lentils and things. I'm not sure
Oh,
how well
oh,
that would be received.
yeah, no, they are fine if you don't build it up as to be like, oh, maybe you don't like. In most cases, they don't even put two and two together. And like, genuinely, when it comes to kids' relationship with food, they have to have their own opinion and experience on it. So if you force it or if you make it seem like, oh, like anything about it, then they are going to resist. Like their level of safety will dictate when they're going to eat it and how. So it's not to say lentils are bad, it's their level and speed of safety with the new food.
Hmm.
So, your question back to what you can do to incorporate it. So, we have had like actual black bean burgers, and
Yeah.
it's its own thing to them. It's not comparing it to a hamburger, and it's really just to get them the beans and the different things that are in the bean burgers that are
Got it.
beneficial.
Yeah.
And put ketchup on it, and if you choose to put cheese on it, I mean, you can make it delicious too as its own experience.
Mm.
I've also let me think, what do I do? I mix it in things like that they normally would eat, like a lasagna. I've put black beans in there and they don't really put two and two together. But imagine what a little black beetle looking thing would look like to a kid who doesn't know, right? What's
Yeah.
that? So it's always just letting them have their own experience and say, oh, it's a sweet little thing. Look at mommy try one and, whatever, give them their own experience, but be like, okay, maybe you'll try it next time. Like always just let them know, like no pressure, and that's up to
Yeah.
them. And it just makes such a difference. But their level of receptivity will just be at the rate of safety when it comes to that. So, what else do I do? You could try them with hummuses, which they are not all created equal. Some of them are better than others, and that's like anything else. So, giving them
Mm.
different options with that. Um, what else? When it comes to lentils, I have mixed it in. I've made like lentil shepherd pie or a lentil loaf, which mimics like a meatloaf. And again, you could choose to add meat or not. There's banza, which are noodles that are made out of beans or lentils.
Oh,
So you
I
could
do
look for
know
that.
this.
Yeah,
I
so they have the
do.
fiber of the beans, and then you just put red sauce on them. And I like to balance that out with
Mm.
like hemp seeds or avocado for a healthy fat. But then you have your protein, your fiber, your veggies being maybe the marinara sauce for some kids, or you could add broccoli in there or something.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting. I thought I
Yeah.
knew my noodle alternatives with my mother who has celiacs,
Mhm.
but I learn something new every day.
Yeah, they're also gluten free. Yeah. Um, and so, yes, when it comes to on a budget, it's more so a matter of how much you prioritize your health versus how much do you feel the society pressure to be organic and to be gluten free and to be on this GMO free and all of that, which that's fine if that's the level you're at, but in my opinion your first priority should be to actually just focus on getting enough produce in your lifestyle, and then you can fine tune whatever your budget can afford when it comes to that stuff. And the all in people are going to hate that. They're like, don't tell people to eat pesticides, but I'm not all in because I don't actually think that's what's killing people. I think lack of
Mm,
nutrition is a bigger problem than parts per billion on
right.
foods.
Right. Yeah. And especially if it's a difference between you getting it or not. If you are thinking it's
Mhm,
an all or nothing. Yeah.
mhm,
Hmm.
mhm. Yeah. And also, I do try to think about sales. I know that sounds bad, but like pay attention to sales. Often when I go grocery shopping, that's what I'm looking for. And then I cook from that. Or
Yeah.
you can start paying attention to ads if you don't. Like all grocery stores have ads and like they'll tell you what's on sale and maybe meal plan based around that. And maybe that's an obvious thing. I'm not sure, but just to say, just like anything else, produce goes on sale too.
Hmm. Mm. Yeah. And check your store if it has an app and clip coupons. And also, are you familiar with Ibotta?
Yes, but tell
Yeah.
them.
So
Yeah.
sometimes there's cash back offers, even on produce,
Mhm.
using that. So maybe it's not on the front end, but maybe you're catching the savings on the back end and then you can cash out. It's like, yay,
Yeah.
free $20. Hmm.
Yeah. Yes, that's a great idea. That is a great idea. Get some money back on that for sure. So,
Hmm.
yes, all to say, in the winter, we basically choose the fruits and vegetables that we like the most to have on hand, but we do a lot of frozen stuff and feel bad about it. My kids do sometimes like those little fruit cups. Again, I don't feel bad about it. Yeah, it's more sugar, but in their life scheme, it's still putting a fruit in balance of their lifestyle, like fruits are parts of meals type thing.
Hmm.
And there's easier ways to cut sugar. So,
Right. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Those have been low key villainized in my mind because of, you know,
yeah,
what
the mom
everybody
guilt
says.
is it. And that's why this is why I'm here saying this. And again, it's ruffling feathers. People are like, I don't like that because I'd rather she tell me everything, right? But it's like, this is the stuff that holds people back from creating a health journey that they enjoy and that fits in with their family. It's those
Yeah.
little guilt trips that are like, I can't do that. And therefore, they just don't pursue it at all.
I'm somebody like that. Yeah.
Hey, we're here. We're here. I'm here for it. That's literally
Yeah.
what we're doing. Is bringing this conversation to the table. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Mm.
sweet friend, we
Yeah.
try to keep these about 20 minutes so you can fit them in your busy days. But thank you for being here and cheers to another healthy table talk.
Cheers. Bye,
All right,
everybody.
see you next time.